Can you hear me now? Hello? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Okay, so now you can do the analytical meditation and the placement meditation. So whatever you read, contemplate or ponder on that one. And then, so bring it to your experience. And then once you understand that, and then supplicate to the Guru that you realize that precious, how rare and precious it is to obtain this fortunate and endowed human birth. And then you rest in a non-conceptual nature or without any elaboration. So just rest in true nature or the non-conceptual state without following the thoughts of your past or anticipating the future, and just rest. So when you don't want to do any analytical meditation and your mind doesn't want to go anymore, then you just rest. Then immediately when thoughts arise, then again engage, don't be distracted. Again, go back to contemplating on the four thoughts. Now here, particularly on the fortunate human births. Okay, so we'll just say that will suffice for the analytical and placement meditation. These are called the second part of our session is that we place ourselves in this analytical and placement meditation. So whatever you have read in the first portion of your session, then in the second session, you bring that experience like the description of hell realm. If you were to be born there, then you would be tormented by heat. And then all the frustrations that you have there would never even be able to reflect or hear the words of the Buddha like that. Then you get that experience. Then after a while, you just rest without any concept of past, present, and future. So that's how you do. So, okay. And then now we'll do the accumulation of the refuge prayers. Those of you who don't have that, it's the fourfold refuge. Lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo. Chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo. Chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo. Chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo. Chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo. Chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo. Chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo. Chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo. Lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo. Genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo. Sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu. Lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi. Lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo. Chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo. Lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo. Chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo. Lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu. Lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo. Lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo. Genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo, chen la chapsu chi wo, genden la chapsu chi wo, lama la chapsu chi wo, sangha la chapsu chi wo. Chela Joseph Chewo, Gendela Joseph Chewo, Lamala Joseph Chewo, Sangela Joseph Chewo, Chela Joseph Chewo, Gendela Joseph Chewo, Lamala Joseph Chewo, Sangela Joseph Chewo, Chela Lamala Joseph Chewo, Sangela Joseph Chela Joseph, Gendela Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangela Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendela Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangela Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendela Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangela Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendela Joseph. Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph. Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph. Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph. Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph. Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph. Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph. Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala 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 Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala 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 Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, 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 Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangala 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 Joseph, Chela Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chela Joseph, Gendala Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangala Chala Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lama Johnson, Sangle Johnson, Chala Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lama Johnson, Sangle Johnson, Chala Johnson, Gendel. Lama Johnson, Sangle Johnson, Chala Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lama Johnson, Sangle Johnson, Chala Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lama Johnson, Chala Johnson, Gendel. Lama Johnson, Sangle Johnson, Chala Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lama Johnson, Sangle Johnson, Chala Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lama Johnson, Sangle Johnson, Chala Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lama Johnson, Sangle. Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, 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 Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson. Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela. Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, 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 Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson. Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, 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 Lamla Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel 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 Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, 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 Lamla Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel 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 Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel 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 Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, 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 Lamla Gendel Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, 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 Gendel Johnson. Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, 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 Lamla Johnson. Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, 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 Lamla Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel 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 Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson. Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel Johnson, 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 Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Lamla Johnson, Sangla Johnson, Chela Johnson, Gendel 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 Johnson. Chala Jobson Gendel Jobson Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson 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 Chala Jobson Gendel Jobson Lamal Jobson Chala Jobson Gendel Jobson Lamal Jobson Sangal 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 Jobson Chala Jobson Gendel Jobson Lamal Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala Jobson Gendel Jobson 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 Lamal Jobson Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala Jobson Gendel 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 Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala Jobson Gendel Jobson 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 Lamal Jobson Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala Jobson Gendel 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 Jobson Lamal Jobson Sangal Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala Jobson Gendel Jobson 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 Lamal Jobson Gendel Jobson Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala 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 Jobson Gendel Jobson Lamal Gendel Jobson Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala Jobson 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 Gendel Jobson Lamal Jobson Sangal Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala Jobson Gendel Jobson 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 Lamal Jobson Sangal Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala Jobson Gendel Jobson 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 Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala Jobson Gendel Jobson 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 Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala Jobson Gendel Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala Jobson Gendel Jobson 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 Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala Jobson Gendel Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala Jobson Gendel Jobson 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 Lamal Jobson Lamal Jobson Sangal Jobson Chala Jobson Gendel 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 Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph. Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamala Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel 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 Joseph, Lamala Joseph. Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, 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 Gendel Joseph, Lamala Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, 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 Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph. Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Sangala Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, 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 Chella Joseph, Gendel Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph. Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamala Joseph, Sang. Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamala Joseph. Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamala Joseph, Sangala Lamala Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamala Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendela Joseph, John Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendela Joseph, John Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendela Joseph, 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 Lamal Joseph, Sangala Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendela Joseph, 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 Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph. Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendela Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendela Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendela Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendela Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamal Lamal Joseph, Sangala Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamal Joseph, Namely Joseph, Sangular Joseph, Chenla Joseph, Gendel 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 Joseph, Namely Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel 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 Joseph, Lamal Joseph. Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamal Joseph, Sangla Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamal Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Chella Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamal Joseph, Sangla Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamal Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla 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 Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamal Joseph, Sangla Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, 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 Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Joseph, Lamal Joseph, Sangla Joseph, Chella Joseph, Gendel Lamal Joseph Sangla Joseph Chenla Joseph Gendel Joseph 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 Lamal Joseph Sangla Lamal Joseph Sangla Joseph Chenla Joseph Gendel Joseph 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 Lamal Joseph Sangla Lamal Joseph Sangla Joseph Chenla Joseph Gendel Joseph 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 Lamal Joseph Sangla Joseph Chenla Joseph Gendel Lamal Joseph Sangla Joseph Chenla Joseph Gendel Joseph Lamal Joseph Sangla Joseph Chenla Joseph Gendel Lamal Joseph Sangla Joseph Chenla Joseph Gendel Joseph Lamal Joseph Sangla Joseph Chenla Joseph Gendel Joseph Lamal Joseph Sangla Joseph Chenla Joseph Gendel Joseph Lamal Joseph Sangla Chenla Johnson Gendel Johnson Lamal Johnson Sangla Johnson Chenla Johnson Gendel Johnson Lamal Johnson Sangla Johnson Chenla Johnson Gendel Johnson Lamal Johnson Sangla Chenla Johnson Gendel Johnson John Lamal Sangla Johnson Lamal Johnson Sangla Johnson Chenla Johnson Gendel Lamal Johnson Sangla Johnson Chenla Johnson Gendel Lamal Johnson Sangla Johnson Chenla Johnson Gendel Johnson I take refuge in the Lama, I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dharma, I take refuge in the Sangha. I take refuge in the Lama, I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dharma, I take refuge in the Sangha. I take refuge in the Lama, I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dharma, and I take refuge in the Sangha. And let's do the refuge from the Longchen Nyingthig text 3 times before we end. Before we do that, let's do this one, the aspiration, prayer of sublime aspiration from the insert. That's on page 7. Delwa top joining boy cheke wu chegoro shik join cheme chepe da 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 dre mombe semchen nan del joining boy lembara jenge lo. Although I have won these freedoms, I am poor in dharma, which is their essence. Although I have entered the dharma, I am distracted doing other things. Bless me and all those foolish beings like me, that we may attain the very essence of the freedoms and advantages. Okay, now the 3 times refuge from the Longchen Nyingthig text. Namo Kunjo Sumye Deshe Tsawa Sum Salon Tegle Ranjen Janchus Ngo Ranjen Tuje Kyo Korola Janchu Ningbo Bando Chamsun Che Kunjo Sumye Deshe Tsawa Sum Salon Tegle Ranjen Janchus Ngo Ranjen Tuje Kyo Korola Janchu Ningbo Bando Chamsun Che Konjo Sumye Deshe Tsawa Sum Tsalung Tegle Ranjen Janchu Sem Ngo Ranjen Tuje Kyo Korola Janchu Ningbo Bando Chamsun Che. In the actual 3 jewels, the 3 root sugatas, in bodhicitta, the nature of channel, wind, and essence, and in the mandala of essence, nature, and compassion, I take refuge until attaining the heart of Buddhahood. In the actual 3 jewels, the 3 root sugatas, in bodhicitta, the nature of channel, wind, and essence, and in the mandala of essence, nature, and compassion, I take refuge until attaining the heart of Buddhahood. In the actual 3 jewels, the 3 root sugatas, in bodhicitta, the nature of channel, wind, and essence, and in the mandala of essence, nature, and compassion, I take refuge until attaining the heart of Buddhahood. Okay, back to our insert. Page 7, dedication. Gewa diye nirdo da koncho sumbo drupjur ne drowa chikchan malu pa deye sanla ge barasho. Through the merit of this practice, may I swiftly accomplish the three jewels and establish every sentient beings without exception on their level. Okay, now back to the conclusion in our Longchen Nyingthig mantra. Page 89. Page 89 in our mantra text. Namje tseyen duje tse rana ngaya pereje sunjo drube jengam so jule dorje naljorama seltsere ke gongboro jurne jitse pejonda yerme chemboro sange de dan tombe chodroge yeshe chembo rolbale Kamsun semje malba Dembe deben damba rujitsen me uyonsa Sewai ningi kilne dem katsam tseksam mayeno Jinlai tuke lone tse samden drumbara jendo. Back to page 89. When my life is at its end, my perception, the glorious copper-colored mountain, the pure ram of Ngayak, indivisible from Nirmanakaya's pure ram, and my body, Vajra Yogini, is transformed into a radiant, brilliant sphere of light. Merging inseparably with Jitsun Pema Jungni, I attain Buddhahood. Then from the display of vast primordial wisdom, the miraculous manifestation of bliss and emptiness, for every single being in the three realms, let me appear as their supreme guide. Jitsun Pema, grant this so, I pray. I pray to you from the bottom of my heart. These are not just empty words. I pray that you grant your blessings from the expanse of your wisdom mind and cause all my aspirations to be fulfilled. Page 92. Lame toka ne vezere marbo jedan jebashi velgi jungwai dani dorje neljoro marasilve ninga rekbai tsamgi vemaregi gongbo shiktu jurne Guru Rinpoche Tukara Timbe Yerme Rochik Tujuru. From the heart center of the Lama, a beam of light, red and warm, suddenly appears, and with myself visualized as Dorje Neljorma, it touches my heart and I am instantaneously transformed into a sphere of red light, which dissolves into Guru Rinpoche's heart, and I become inseparable with him in one taste. Palden save lama rimbo chen dage ningarai peme tensho. Kadrin chenboy gone jeson te kuson toke ngedro tsendo hansa. Palden lame nambara darbai lai keche tsamyan lotai meke heshin. Chizel bara tome mege ke lame jenlai semlai jokarasho. Kewai kundu yanda lama dan jalme chege pala longche. Sadan lamge yente radzo ne dorje change kopan yurtosho. Jamben Bao Jedarai Kemba Dan Kundo Zombo Deyan Dejente De Dai Gunge Jeso Dalo Jengewa De Dai Tamche Ratung Tisum Shembe Gewa Tamche Ke Ngowai Ganglai Chodo Ngopante Dagi Gewe Zawai De Dai Shan Zambo Cheche Rapto Ngorage Kandu kebe gewan tamjendu tore yenten dinden tobarshu. Kemai tadu chedan chejuru che tsujin rube rangwan ye parash. Deryan lama damba neje chen nindan zendu chelai che parash. Chedo nini ningbo dendru te tsede sebe janso kawarashu. Separadambe cherai tonje chen shenpe rulai chonga mebash. Labchen shenden chore meba ye tamche chamche sange to parasho. Back to page 94. As the heroic Manjushri realized and Samantabhadra too, I will train in their examples and perfectly dedicate all of these virtues. All the conquerors of the three times in whichever way they supremely dedicate. I too will perfectly dedicate all my roots of virtue for the excellent conduct. In all of my lifetimes, wherever I am born, may I obtain the 7 qualities of higher realms. Upon taking birth, may I immediately meet the Dharma and have the freedom to practice it perfectly. In that life, may I please the Sublime Lama and practice the Dharma day and night. Having realized the Dharma, may I accomplish the ultimate meaning of essence. And may I cross over the ocean of worldly existence in this very life. May I thoroughly teach the sublime Dharma within the world and never become disheartened or weary of accomplishing the benefit of others. Through working impartially for the vast benefit of others, may all beings attain Buddhahood together. Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Sindhi 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 Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Sindhi. Okay, so that's how you practice the Ngondro. Okay. That's how we should do every day, and then we're still spending a lot of time in the early part of our Ngondro, since we are, still picking up the pace. So please well verse yourselves in the Tibetan phonetics. So because the alternating days when you're reading in English, you won't have problem, but especially when you're reading the Tibetan, the phonetics and all. So just get accustomed with all of the words. So, and slowly by slowly, the first part of our Ngondro recitation should not take longer than 20 minutes. Right now, it's with all the talkings and so forth, it's almost taking us an hour. So, and later on, we don't have to tell all you do, blow your nose with your right and left and so forth. You just sit and then just follow, and then it will go fast. And likewise with the speech blessings and so forth. And then the blessing of the Vajra breath or the breath. What happens is, if you do that, then every breath becomes wisdom breath. That's the power of this practice, is Om, Ah, Om. So that is the essence of why we are doing that Vajra breathing, is it will turn into wisdom breath, the nature of wisdom wind. Everything turns into wisdom wind. So whatever comes up from our mouth is wisdom speech. Every breath that we take, inhale and exhale, it's a wisdom wind, like that. And then the reading portion, still familiarize yourself. Today I marked this one. Yesterday I told you to read some other part, and you read this part from page 42 on the guide of the words of my perfect teacher. From page 42 onward, on here it says the session preliminaries. That's excuse me. So on page 42 begins that where the chapter is marked with an A, the session preliminaries. You go all the way, and then so you understand how you begin the preliminaries. And the main part session here that we are doing right now, reflecting on the nature of freedom. So it ends somewhere. Yeah, so the main part of the session will change depending on which mind training we are on. So for now, this is perfect for us. And then go to page 46, the conclusion, like that. So that's how you go about. Do that one, and also read on part the other, this one on the intention, how to cultivate the intention. And then if you can get further than that, then read on you can read on bodhicitta, on how to understand all sentient beings as our parents, and how to reflect on the kindness that they showered on us when they were our parents. And then thirdly, how to repay their kindness. That one. And then if you have time, then go to Guru Yoga and understanding why we need to supplicate to the Guru. There are 4 factors of understanding the importance of Guru. So, because here right now we're doing, I take refuge in the Guru. So then you have an understanding, clear understanding why you need to supplicate to the Guru. So you can do that. Okay. Anyone has question? Sorry for the interruption in the middle because my computer battery died. So then I had to plug it again. I forgot to plug the computer.
Hi, I've just got one question. There was mention of the, oh, bless you.
Yes, sir. Okay, sure.
There was mention of other classes and other sessions on other days. How can I find out more about those?
Oh, yes, you can write to chundukcholing@gmail.com or lclinquire@gmail.com. So then what we are doing here is the intensive Ngondro class will go every morning from 4 to 7, without interruption. And then on Monday, starting this Monday, coming Monday, we will start the Shitro sadhana, the practice of Shitro. So familiarizing with the mandala of the peaceful and wrathful deities, that one. And it's based on the teachings on Karma Lingpa, the great Tibetan, or the treasure revealer king Karma Lingpa, who wrote the Tibetan Book of the Dead. So that's the text that we're using. And on Wednesday, for some time, we are going to just go through the commentary of the practice so that people understand how the sadhana needs to be understood or practiced, like that. And then slowly the nature of that one will change the class, because the Wednesday class is aimed on resting in the nature of mind. So it's usually the Dzogchen teachings that we do. So we begin here with the Karma Lingpa's Shito practice commentary, which is Dzogchen itself, which is resting in the nature of mind, but engaging in the practice of the Shito sadhana, the Shito practice. And on Thursday, we have the general Buddhist teachings, or the basic foundation teachings. This time we'll begin with Longchen Pa's writing. It's called the Praise to the Four Seals. Praise to the Four Seals. So that we understand what are the four seals. That is the main intent of Buddha teaching the Dharma. So, and that's all. So if you want to take the class.
Can I ask, what time are those classes?
Like
your time?
Yeah, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, like that. And then sometimes these days correspond to the auspicious days like Guru Rinpoche Day, Dakini Day, New Moon, Full Moon, and so forth. During those days, then we'll do the shower of blessings talk. And then when we have time, we'll talk about the teachings a little bit.
Okay, I'll try and get up at 3 a.m.
Good, yeah. Even if you can't do that, if you are interested, then you can listen, like these morning sessions are archived on YouTube, and then those who miss the morning session because they have to go to work on some of the days, and then they can follow along. So main thing is be determined. You have to stick to your vow that I'm going to do the 100-day retreat. If you kind of are not really committed, then this samsaric habit will soon kind of conquer us. That's the reason we need to have determination, and we need to stick to our oath or your promise or this commitment that we make. So it's very, very important. So every time, even when you're practicing the session, your mind kind of drifts, and immediately you need to be vigilant and say, I have pledged, or I have made this commitment that I want to practice the 100-day retreat, and I'm not going to waste any of my session in distraction. Immediately, your mind kind of distracts. Bring your awareness and mindfulness, the alertness or mindfulness like that, and then again do your practice, because each and every minute that we utilizing this mind training is going to benefit our practice, in our practice. So likewise, when you are listening to the other teachings, if you want to listen to the teachings that are archived, I want you to sit in a nice posture, because it's none other than meditation. It's more, you are listening to the teachings as you sit. So, and not just like, playing on the car or like a radio or those kind of things. Sit, and then you can listen, turn the YouTube or the video on, and then open your book and follow along like that. So that's what I request everybody to do. So that way you feel you have this heart-to-heart connection, that you are actually receiving the teaching from a teacher and you are present there in front like that. Otherwise, then teachings, the power of the teaching is based on how we regard, how we bring this, how it's called duche. It's like the intent, or like how we regard the teaching. If we regard our teaching that we listen just like a lecture, then it's just a lecture. If we regard this teaching as something that will benefit our practice, our mind, that our mind will turn toward understanding Dharma or turn toward the path of Dharma, then it will do that. So it's solely based on intent, just like Buddha Shakyamuni said, all phenomena are adventitious, meaning phenomena have no concrete reality, is solely dependent on our intention. This so-called good and bad, nice, bad, all of these things have no reality, solely dependent on how we take that situation. All phenomena are circumstantial. It's solely dependent on our intention. If we intend with positivity, even the most excruciating circumstance becomes positive. If we have negative intention, or if our intention is not good, even that positive situation turns into negative. So therefore, so I don't remember the third and the fourth line now, but this is what the Buddha Shakyamuni said. So therefore, let us all utilize this time, these teachings and our practice and so forth, bringing that intention. So that's why I request everybody who are listening to the teachings not to play while you're, lying on the bed, because then it forms some kind of habit in your mind that you disregard the importance or the value or the preciousness or the special quality of the teachings. So then you're just like, what you call, just like listening to a podcast or something kind of. So think like that and listen. Okay. Anybody else?
Phenomena. Do you have like a private email?
Yeah, kemposonam@hotmail.com. Yeah, can write.
It's what?
Kemposonam, KHEN is that, and as in Nancy, kemposonam@hotmail.com. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You were saying what you didn't find on Amazon?
I couldn't find that edition, and when I looked up the Tibetan Book of the Dead, they had a
Oh, okay.
but she just put the link in the box.
Okay,
no, it's yeah.
Tibetan Book of the Dead. Longchen Nyingthig. This is the one, yeah. You see that, Jan?
Yes, it's a different color here, but
yeah, it has this. There are two versions. One is hardcover. The other one is, the paperback. And also I heard that they are from 2 editions. This one is from Viking publication. The other one, they said they also have from Penguin publication or something.
Lhasa, yeah,
Penguin or
yeah.
something, yeah.
I did see this one, but it didn't have the author that you said, but it's the one that has an introductory commentary from the Dalai Lama. Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, Lhasa. What you say?
So
And
sorry,
would
just
be-
to confirm. Oh, sorry,
Yes.
just to confirm, it's the translation by Gyurme Dorji.
Yes, it's by Gyurme Dorji, yes.
Thank you.
In our teachings, program that we did earlier, most part of these teachings were already done. Like the Tibetan Book of the Dead Tibetan Book of the Dead is the title, the English title, but generally known as English title, but it is called Liberation Upon Hearing. So, and then liberation upon hearing, then people just think during the time of death, but Bardo, there are 6 different intermediate states. So liberation while we are alive, liberation upon hearing while we are alive, liberation upon hearing while we are dying, liberation upon hearing while we are dead, and when we are in the state of the basic display, like when we don't have a body, and when these all this miraculous manifestations of the basis, the display of the basis, like the peaceful and wrathful deities manifesting, and those consciousness roaming there, those mindset, or we cannot say consciousness, because consciousness is only attained when we have a body. That's because mind is not consciousness. I don't know, that's people think mind is consciousness, but mind is not consciousness. So you can learn about those. So, and then there's also liberation upon hearing. When we advance, when this mindset starts to advance or further, go in search of a body, that's called the intermediate state of formation or becoming or existence, it's called. So, but here, like we just say Tibetan Book of the Dead or liberation upon hearing, so many different levels are there, and you'll see in this text like how the peaceful deities manifest, how the wrathful deities manifest, and so forth. So most part of this text of this book is covered already. And in our program that we had been doing Shito practice for more than 12 years now, we've been doing Shito practice for 12 years. Most of our students have done that. And they're quite familiar with the mandala, both the peaceful mandala and the wrathful mandala. So this time we're going to do the sadhana, how it is traditionally done, how we open the sadhana with the preliminaries, and then how we enter into the main part of the practice, just like how we are now learning to do the ngondro. You have the preliminaries of the preliminaries, and the preliminaries which are divided into called the outer preliminaries and the inner preliminaries, and so forth like that. Common preliminaries and extraordinary preliminaries like that. So the Monday classes is aimed to learn the sadhana, the Shito sadhana, because it will help us. It's liberation upon hearing. You will understand. So probably those of you who want to hear about this Wednesday class will kind of give an introduction on what the Shito teachings and Shito practice would mean. Okay. And then Thursday class is the praise on the 4 seals of the Buddha Dharma. Okay. Anybody else before we close?
Hey, I have a quick question for you.
Okay.
For the visualization of the refuge assembly, when I visualize myself as Vajra Yogini,
Mm-hmm.
am I visualizing myself as Vajra Yogini all the way up until the empowerments? So from page like 65 all the way until...
Yeah, until you dissolve,
Okay.
until the conclusion, you're dissolving as Vajra Yogini. But just the exception that when you are right now doing the refuge and so forth and contemplating, there's exception, you can just think you're ordinary. Later on, because the Ngondro, when we're doing that, it's, it has its own context, but right now we are doing the mind training, so we have to come off in and out of that visualization of being Vajra Yogini. So because the Guru Yoga, when we start Guru Yoga, then our innate nature is Vajra Yogini, like that. And then you dissolve into red ball of light, which merges inseparably in Guru Rinpoche's wisdom, mind, or heart, like that. And then you carry on. Then you dissolve into that stage. Then immediately you arise again. You once again arise to manifest, to bring benefit to all sentient beings, and so forth, like that. And then you consider your body as an illusion, or like an illusory body of Vajra Yogini. And all sound as the sound of Vajra Guru Mantra, and all thoughts and recollections as the play of dharmata, or emptiness and awareness, like that. So you would carry that one. And then now you're going to bed. When you go to bed, that awareness, and Guru Rinpoche kind of dissolves through your fontel and it comes down and into your heart. And in your heart, you have this 4-petal lotus. And then Guru Rinpoche remains there in the form of light, like a size of a thumb, like a sphere, like a coin, or like a small light in your heart. And you focus in that one, and then you fall asleep in clear light or luminosity. It's called Yeshe Timu Yeseldu Bawa. It's the literal way of saying is you are concealing your ignorance into primordial wisdom, meaning, that's literally the word is hiding your ignorance in primordial wisdom is the word. What it means is you are dissolving in clear light or wisdom. So even sleep is a state of basic space of phenomena. So that's another level of our practice. So you focus your mind in your awareness there, and then you fall asleep in luminosity. And then this way, we'll have vivid dreams. We'll be able to recognize dream as dreams, because then, like we have nightmares and then we are tormented. We don't recognize that we're dreaming. But if you sleep in this kind of this way of wakefulness or awareness, then you'll be able to catch your dreams. When you're dreaming, you would have vivid dreams. And then, further on, there's no we cannot say that you cannot have pure dreams. You can travel to the pure realms, like Guru Rinpoche's pure realms, or Dakini's pure realms, or so many infinite Buddha fields are there. You would be traveling there, and you would be receiving teachings from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And this is how the treasure revelers and lamas, and all our lamas in the lineages and so forth, have brought forth realization is this way. So you're actually receiving teachings in a totally different dimension like that. And those teachings will even have greater impact to your practice. These are not just teachings of verbal hearing, but these are teachings of vibrations and, melodies and so forth in a different level. So those kind of things can happen. And just aspire, make aspiration. And then when you wake up again, you arise, your Lama arises. And in the beginning it says, remembering Shilu, your fundamental body, meaning your fundamental body is, we think we have this body, our fundamental body is beyond form and so forth. It's form and emptiness. So that is the Dakini, that is Vajrayogini. Vajrayogini is not like red, like paint red or those kind of things. Vajrayogini is form and emptiness, appearance and emptiness, like that. And then also it mentioned that your environment, we need to bring forth the understanding our environment is the perfect pure RAM. So copper colored pure RAM, or Eastern Buddha field, Southern Buddha field, Western Buddha field, Northern Buddha field, Central Buddha field, whichever you are accustomed to, you can do that one. So that's the way of how you need to constantly harbor or constantly cultivate, nurture in your awareness. So during the refuge and bodhicitta, you don't have to think in that way, but it doesn't stop you from not think like that. You could think, you could even think that I'm Vajrayogini all the time. Does not spoil your practice. So, in the instructions, it's just mentioned that during the time when you're doing refuge and so forth, you think that your ordinary form like that. Likewise, when you're doing the Vajrasattva ordinary form, only when you do Guru Yoga, because it's in a different level of our practice. So, but does not restrict us, because we are not practicing refuge like in the general Buddhist tradition, like in the Shravakayana, or they think Buddha is external. Dharma are the 84,000 or lesser than 84,000 teachings, and Sangha are those who are ordained, donned in orange or saffron or red robes, those kind of things. We don't think like that. Buddha, we go past that one. It says the actual, the Sugata, the actual three jewels, are how we see that is our, our Lama, Idam, and our Lama embodies, our Lama's body is the Sangha, the Lama's speech is the Dharma, the Lama's mind is the Buddha, like that. So doesn't stop you. So you can carry on thinking you are Vajrayogini all the time. It's not, it doesn't harm. You can do that.
Wonderful.
The main thing is to remember your fundamental being. And on top of that one, then, there are times when you dissolve, and time when you reemerge and so forth. It's just to break our habit of grasping into reality. If you think Vajrayogini is concrete, then we fall into this extreme of what is called eternalism. Then we think it is eternal. Then our mind creates some kind of solidity, and then we fall into, the extreme of positing that there is some concrete existence, like that. Or then if you don't think of that one, and never are able to dissolve into emptiness, again there is this, if you don't arise from that emptiness and think that everything is just a manifestation of Vajrayogini's wisdom body, wisdom speech, wisdom mind, there too there is the error or mistake. So then that's called you start to form some mental habit of falling into nihilism, negating everything, that, oh, this is not there, that's not there, enlightenment is not there, or Buddhahood is not there, awakening is not there, realization is not there, wisdom is not there, and so forth. You start to negate everything like that. So you need to train your mind. That's called mastering your mind, mastering your practice. Okay. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Yeah, when I talk the symbolism of Vajrayogini, she has a skull cap and a knife. What is the symbolism of that?
Symbolism is that she has Vajrayogini symbolizes devotion, faith and devotion, and then because through her devotion she has now extracted the essence, the blessings. So in her hand, that what she holds is the blessings of the Guru. So that is she, where all bliss rises. So it's like the swirling of bliss. So that bliss is never, or bliss or blessing is never ending like that. So she's like the container that is perfect for the Guru's blessings to enter or to permeate. So that's the Vajra Skalka that she is holding.
Oh, okay.
So, or she's always nurturing herself with the blessings of the Guru. The blessings of the Guru is realization, wisdom, like that. And yeah, there are all those aspects when we come to Guru Yoga, we'll talk. So. Okay. Anybody else? Linda is there, Selena, Lindsay, Thomas, Alexander, Matthew. Okay.
Kempola,
Yes.
and the Shitro, are you doing that text, the white one on Shitro, or a book?
Not the white one that Chagdu Gompa does, not that one. We are doing from Karmalingpa.
Okay.
Karmalingpa, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. But you know, if you have already done that, you can practice that one.
Yeah, we just did it this weekend from Muddy Road, the one that I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that's how I think you came on and I see Nundro and I jumped in automatic.
Wonderful. Yeah. Good. Yeah, please do. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm reading the text here. Linda says it's okay to do refuge in English. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can do it. Must we receive the empowerment this weekend to take part in the class? Yes, because Garchan Rinpoche is doing the empowerment. And so if you have time, do it, because, and I was thinking of doing what we call as there's a transmissional empowerment, a very unelaborated empowerment for those who haven't received Shito empowerment before. So that way they are enabled to receiving the Shito text. But if possible, receive from Garchan Rinpoche. And if you cannot, then I will do the other, that's the transmission. I can do that one.
Is the Longchen Nyingthig Shitro sufficient?
Yes. Any Shito is okay.
Any Shitro?
Any Shito is fine. Shito empowerment. Shito, because also, you know, in order to receive the Dzogchen teachings and so forth, any tantric teachings like the tantra of the unsurpassable category, you have to receive the Shito empowerment. teachers wouldn't give you teachings unless you have received the Shito empowerment. So it's a good basis for you. So when you have received the Shito empowerment, then those transmissions and teachings from the lamas on those tantras and the nature mind and so forth will be more effective. Do that.
Excuse me.
Okay. Anybody else?
So if we've already received it, but receiving it again is another blessing, isn't that?
Oh yeah. Do again and again. Yeah. This will be actually a nice way of receiving the empowerment. As I told you, like it would be receiving like in a dream level, because you're not receiving in person, but you're receiving through the web, and it's more like you're in a dream. You're in a different dimension. Your body is here. Like when you're sleeping, your body's there, but then your mind is wandering off into a different level. And likewise, now the Lama is there, then the Lama's Nirmanakaya body is somewhere, but the Lama's now Sambhogakaya speech is transmitted through what you call the clouds or the internet. So this would be even more powerful. Main thing is that you bring that intent, you bring the intent, and then who is receiving? You are not receiving because your body is here somewhere, but then your mind is receiving. So that would even make more effect or more. So do that. Yeah. Tantra is a very magical subject. It's a magical phenomena. It's a magical thing. So right and wrong, correct, not correct, and so forth, it's beyond. It does not apply to tantra. Tantra magic does not fall into any of these restrictions of this conceptual mind. It doesn't fall into the constraint of this conceptual mind. So, receiving this Shito empowerment would be, what I'm saying is, of course, if you think like this, it would be a wonderful way. But if you don't think in this way, then you think that you're receiving with your body, then it's just ordinary empowerment. If you think you're receiving with your mind, it's not the level. So, okay? So think that you're receiving the empowerment with your mind. Then your mind is not in your body. Your mind is free. Then Kachin Rinpoche's wisdom mind is free. It's all everywhere, unhindered like that. So then that Shito empowerment will be the definite Shito empowerment. Okay? Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
Have a blessed day, Kempo.
Okay, have a good day.
Aho.
And then stay well, everybody. Take good care. And always think that your life is so precious. And, like if you understand the preciousness, you'll stop even to, stop like sleeping. You'll stop that. There's so much preciousness in our life. So think like that.
Thank you.
What do you say? What's the English phrase you use? Scare the daylight out of you? Don't they say that? Yeah, like
Yeah.
that. So we'll fuse the light of, fuse the darkness of samsara. Okay. Everybody take care, stay well, and keep this commitment. Like, I'm going to stick to this practice, this training. And regardless, whatever the back of your mind tells you, always be victorious of it. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Awesome.
There's a beautiful and native and Indian story, like this grandpa, the young boy kind of recognizes this grandpa is disturbed, and the young boy asks the grandpa, you seems to be disturbed, what's happening? It's like he feels that in his mind there are two wolves. There's a bad wolf and a good wolf fighting. And then, the little boy asks, Grandpa, who is going to win? And the grandpa says, whomever I feed. Whomever I feed will win. That's a beautiful story. So think of that. Okay, everybody, stay well. And sending you all our best wishes and Dashudalek. Okay. Bye now. Bye. Okay. Okay.